Yo, what's up guys? Welcome back to This Just In. Thank you for joining me today. In this video, I want to go over RIDE, that is Lordstown Motors. I wanted to give you my thoughts on where I see it going, as well as my RIDE stock price prediction for the end of 2021. So let's jump right in. All right, guys, before we get started today, subscribe to the channel for me. Hit that little bell so you get notified every time I post. There's also a link down in the description of my Patreon account. Come over and join the family, if you want to be a part of an awesome community, a lot of great, like-minded individuals that are constantly trying to help each other. It's really a family. Like, if you want to be a part of a family and grow with us, come check it out. You'll get access to the private Discord where we talk stocks. You'll get links to 5 portfolios so you can see exactly what I invest into. And then anytime I buy or sell a stock up to the second I do it, I send out a notification so you can follow along. I also send out a lot of like high value swing trade setups, or anytime I've mapped a chart or I've got a watch list, or anything that can help us become better investors overall. Any beginners out there, if that's something you're interested in, if you want to come talk with me one-on-one, or you want to be part of a community, come check it out. I think you'll get a lot of value out of it. Any experienced investors out there, if you want to come over and help, grow the channel with us and honestly help teach people and teach beginners and help, experienced investors and be part of a family, come check it out. I think you'll like it. Day One Squad, I love you guys. Thank you so much for your support. It means the world to me. All the fathers out there, happy Father's Day yesterday. I hope you guys enjoyed your weekend, but now it's back to the grind. So let's get started, guys. I want to talk about Lordstown Motors. I want to give you my RIDE stock price prediction for the end of 2021. Kind of give you an idea of where I see the Lordstown Motors stock going, as well as kind of giving you my thoughts on the overall company and business. So guys, this is a EV startup. It's a truck EV. They were founded a few years back. They are pre-revenue, pre-production. They have not sold a vehicle yet. They are expected to kind of start production this year in September. There has been a lot of hype around this stock. It's a very popular stock. It's a very big meme stock. It's a big Reddit stock. A lot of volatility. It makes big moves. It sets up for short squeezes. So there's a lot of opportunity here for a trader. But what I wanted to do is jump in and look at it as a long-term investor. Is there opportunity for us to invest as a long-term investor? Hold it, dollar cost average, whatever it may be. There's a lot of EV stocks out there, guys. One thing I want to say, I'm all for investing in EV stocks and innovative tech and growth stocks. But I want you to kind of look at this in a context of the 1930s when, the automotive industry was just booming like crazy. And there was thousands of car companies that got started because that was the big industry. Just because the industry is massive and there's a lot of opportunity in the industry and a huge total addressable market doesn't mean that everybody that participates in it is going to make it. So I just wanted to go over the website with you. Again, I will give you my RIDE stock price prediction for the end of 2021. We'll take a look at the website. We'll kind of see what the truck looks like. We'll go over the pros, the cons. We'll look at the chart and we'll wrap it up. Let's get started. All right, guys, so the first thing I wanted to show you, this is their website. The truck is actually really cool, guys. Like, I really like the way the truck looks. There's some pictures of it right here. They're kind of going for like that off-road look, really cool. Look at that. One thing I will say, guys, is so they actually own the assembly plant that was previously owned by General Motors. And General Motors invested $75 million into Lordstown Motors, and they also have a seat on their board of directors. Guys, GM, General Motors, is a massive automotive company. The one thing I will say is the electric truck is, in my opinion, gonna be hard to penetrate as easily as an electric SUV. Because I feel like a lot of the people that are buying trucks are buying it for the fact that it's a truck. Right? That it has a lot of towing capacity. It's got 4-wheel drive. It's got all the power, whatever it is. With that being said, though, I think it is huge that Ford came out with the Ford Lightning, the electric F-150, because people trust Ford. And so as people buy that F-150 and they see it and they hear about it, I think it will kind of overcome a lot of that uncertainty about an electric truck and make it more normalized. So I think that'll actually help companies like, Ride and Lordstown Motors, get their truck out there and get people more confident with it. The other thing is why would GM invest into it? They must like it, right? Because why wouldn't GM just come out with the electric, 1500? So, it's kind of interesting there. I do like that. The other thing is GM included them in their tier 1 supply chain. So GM will help them, get all of those, the batteries through LG and all these different components to produce these vehicles. Like I said, they are starting production or set to, projected to start production on this truck in September of this year. Guys, if they get to production on that time, I believe they will be the first, electric truck to start production in the United States, maybe other than the F-150. I'm not sure. You'd have to fact check me on that. But the other thing was, then I thought this was really interesting. So this company, Lordstown Motors, it was founded in 2018 by the former CEO of Workhorse. We've talked about Workhorse a few times on this, channel. They're the EV stock that makes the delivery vans and the class 3 to class 6 vehicles. Not a huge fan of the stock, just wasn't my cup of tea, but nonetheless, it's a very popular stock. The thing that I thought was kind of funny here was, so GM also, when they gave them that money to underwrite the assembly plant that they currently now own that used to be GM's, they had enough money by doing that to pay Workhorse like $12 million and then give them 10% equity in Lordstown Motors stock for the blueprints to Workhorse's truck that they were going to develop. So they got the blueprints. Workhorse was going to be the one that was actually going to build this truck. So it is kind of funny how it all ties together there. Overall, guys, like I said, they're pre-production, pre-revenue. They have never sold a vehicle. But with that being said, the truck is very cool. And I think if they do hit those production numbers and they do get there, the stock will do very well. If they miss those production numbers, they are going to get killed. Like this stock it will get beat down if they miss their production numbers. So they did have some negative press that we'll talk about, but I do want to show you this real quick. So as you guys can see here, this is kind of compared to a traditional, F-150 from Ford, the 4-wheel drive, the Lariat. The Lariat's one of the topper, higher end packages, but you can see very similar cost, but cheaper cost to own as far as like gas prices goes. Obviously, it's an electric vehicle. One thing that I have seen the analysts are a little bit concerned with is like the hubs that they've got like this technology where they put 4 different hubs. The motors are in the hubs on the Lordstown's truck. So, they're worried that they don't know how much those will need to be replaced and how hard they'll be to work on and all those things. Again, guys, you can see here it lines up pretty nicely with the F-150. Looks a little bit, more inexpensive. And you also get rebates for owning it. So there is positive there. Okay, so let's go over the bad press. Guys, the first thing that I saw was a short seller report that came out, pretty much, combating them or fighting them on the fact that they said that they had 100,000 pre-orders. Ride did. That's what they kind of came out and said. Guys, pre-orders, they're non-binding, right? So they came out at the SEC is investigating them. At an SEC hearing back on the 17th, they came out and said, yes, we don't have any like validated orders that are binding, like inked on paper. But guys, that's what pre-orders are. So I wasn't too concerned with that. The stock sold off like 7% when they came out and said that, which I thought was a huge overreaction. That's just kind of how the market is. Obviously it's a pre-order, guys. I mean, if they, have letters of intent from, different, companies for like commercial fleets, and then they have, the general consumer like us that maybe have put a deposit down or whatever, that could still be non-binding, right? Say I put $1,000 down to reserve one of these trucks. Well, that's still non-binding, but if I put a deposit down, I mean, I would call that an order, right? So, there is negative press, but I feel like that wasn't that big of a concern. Obviously, as a CEO, you're going to want to, tell people and give them confidence that people want to buy your truck. So even if you have interest that's not signed on papers, I would call it a pre-order as well. So I'm not too concerned with that. The SEC investigation, same type of thing. Companies get investigated by the SEC all the time. We'll just kind of have to wait and see what happens with that. But then they also had some negative, test failures. They had like a fire when they were testing. They had a crash testing that went bad. And then they enrolled in like a off-road race and then had to withdraw after like 40 miles. So there's negative press there, guys. This stock is very volatile. I do not see this as a stock that you buy and hold unless you have the utmost conviction in it. I would rather see the stock get there, make some orders, sell some vehicles. It's not going to be too late. Look at Xpeng, right? I have no problem investing in a high growth speculative company, but Xpeng has vehicles on the road. They've sold vehicles and they also are hitting and breaking deliveries quarter over quarter. These guys could get, production pushed off, multiple times. Look at Lucid Motors. Same thing happened with them. That was the other thing in the short seller report is they said that they think Lordstown Motors is 3 to 4 years away from production. And who knows, that very well could be the case. But I will tell you, if their production keeps getting pushed off like that, it'll be bad. Again, guys, those are all concerns you'll have to wait and see. The way I see it is it makes more sense to me to trade the short-term volatility, let them get there, let them sell vehicles, let them get, established, then invest into them. It won't be too late. They do have a current market cap of right around 1.7 billion. It might be a little bit down since then, since the last time I looked. They do not have any debt right now, but the debt will grow to $151 million by the end of 2023. They are projecting revenue to be 1.49 billion in 2022, and then 2.7 billion by 2023. Guys, those are massive, massive numbers there. What have we talked about? Any of these stocks that set ridiculous guidance and miss are going to get killed. If they say 1.49 billion and they do 1.3 billion, they're going to get killed, even though 1.3 billion is a ton of revenue. If they would have just said, we're going to do 900 million, you know what I'm saying? So we'll just have to wait and see what happens with that. Again, guys, if you have a ton of, conviction in it, if you have a high risk tolerance, be my guest. I would rather wait, really just kind of trade the chart, take advantage of the short-term volatility, maybe participate in some of the short squeezes, but I do not plan on holding this stock as a long-term high conviction play until they get there. Now let's take a look at this article that I saw, and there's a lot of people that agree with me, guys. So what this article is it says institutional investors expect bumpy road for Lordstown Motors stock. Morgan Stanley says it took a poll of institutional investors and industry experts on what to expect for Lordstown Motors in the road ahead. A majority of respondents, 54%, think Lordstown Motors will likely secure funding, but struggle to continue operations going forward. 42% of respondents believe the electric vehicle maker is not likely to remain going concern and will likely need to reorganize under bankruptcy protection. That left just a few respondents confident that RIDE will be able to overcome recent challenges and proceed in a successful manner. So it's split kind of 50-50, guys, but even the 54% think that they're going to continue to have operational struggles, which is understandable. Look at Lucid Motors. They've literally been in business for like 12 years. Started as a battery company, went to an EV company. They've literally delayed productions multiple times. I think Lucid Motors has a lot of, potential. I'm not saying it's a bad stock, but I'm just saying when you delay productions, your stock's going to get killed. Look at the stock, pre-IPO or pre-merger, it just went insane. The merger was announced, it dumped. It's not doing too bad right now. I think Lucid could kill it if they can hit their production and get their cars out. We're not talking about Lucid right now, though. But same type of thing with RIDE, Lordstown Motors stock. The other thing on here is it said Morgan Stanley reiterates its concerns that investors may be underestimating certain economic, strategic, political, and social risks on Lordstown Motors, which are difficult to quantify. Guys, again, look at the 1930s. The EV or the car market was booming. It was insane. There's been thousands of companies that tried to start, automotive and vehicle companies that have failed. You hear about the ones that didn't. You don't hear about the ones that did. It's the same thing with the dot-com bubble. Every company in the world was trying to be a tech company and an internet company, and there was like 5 that made it through the dot-com bubble. So not all of them are going to make it. Not all of these stocks are going to get there. Again, it's okay to trade the short-term volatility if you'd like, but I just can't see paying $2 billion essentially for this stock, 1.8 billion or 1.7 billion or whatever their market cap is right now, for a stock that has all of the unknown uncertainty and doesn't start production till September and may not even hit that production. But with that being said, I also do like some of the positive. I like the truck. I think it looks good. I think it's nice that GM is backing them. They've got some positive there. But for me, guys, I'm going to stay on the sideline unless I see a beautiful setup on the chart. So let's take a look at the chart. Okay, so as you guys can see here, very, very similar to a lot of the stocks, a lot of the SPACs we look at, came out as a SPAC, $10 NAV price, ran up to a high of, what was that? $31.80, traded way down, came all the way down to a low of $13 back in October 2020, ran back up, couldn't quite get to the top, traded off a little bit, and then retested that same high of that $31.80 and couldn't quite break it. So there's your big resistance tops right there. You had your double top and then your big sell-off. Now, guys, you did get sold off way past your NAV price, that $10, level of when it was a SPAC, all the way down to a low of $6.69. But you are since getting this momentum shifting structure right here where you are getting and making higher lows and higher highs. So you do actually have some positive momentum and some momentum shifting showing seller exhaustion, which is actually a really good sign. A lot of this is probably those short squeezes. People, those hedge funds and everybody just pushed it way too far, way too fast, and you got to squeeze. You are now, again, making the higher lows. You did get rejected up here at this, critical inflection point where, it has been rejected before and held as support. You're going to have to break up through this level, and then break up through this level before you are going to start advancing to any, meaningful price. You are getting convergence on both of the RSIs, which is fantastic. Guys, you did have the highest level of volume back on the 9th of June that you've had historically. And as you can see, the volume has just been crazy right here compared to all of the other times in history. So who knows, guys? The whole market turns around. Maybe a lot more money starts flowing back into EV and growth and tech, and you get a high tide lifts all ships. Who knows? But as far as this goes right here, I actually think you are at the most low risk area that you can pretty much be at. If you do not own the stock, which I do not, I would wait for some type of trade setup, where it either comes up, has a spring, back tests one of these, critical areas, and then starts advancing before making any type of investment. You are under all of the moving averages, so you probably will run into some more resistance on those moving forward. I would wait for it to get over those moving averages, back test a critical area, and get up here into these areas where you've got more distance in your range. Again, you are kind of, every time you touch this demand line, it is getting bought up and people kind of accumulate it. So you could, buy it every time it touches the demand, sell it every time it reaches a high, or gets up here and touches a critical support or resistance level. With that being said, you're going to get short squeezes on stocks like this because the short interest is so high. And again, you are buying it at one of the more low risk areas. You could sell off back down here to the $6.90 range, but who knows? You could not. You are making, a nice structure and a nice setup as of right now. So you're just going to have to wait and see. For me, guys, I would put a price target on this stock of around $15 for now, just because that's kind of where your main critical resistance level is, $15.50 by the end of the year. But if you break that level, because I could see it trading in this range for a very long time. I could see it getting up, getting rejected, pushing back down, getting rejected, pushing back down. You'll just have to kind of, watch it. But if it does break that area, then I think you're going back to test all-time highs around the 31. That's my prediction. My ride stock price prediction is it either stays under 1550 or, it runs to 31. That's what I think it'll do, just because the nature of the stock, just because the FUD in the market on it, just because of the way it's, kind of set up in the market. So that's what I think. Am I going to buy it as of right now? No. If I get a nice setup on the chart and I think it could be a potential trade, yes. Now you could get a short squeeze on this, guys, and it could pop way past what I'm talking about. You just never know. So that's it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I know that it's not, a very positive, happy video where I'm just super bullish on it, but I would rather tell you that I'm not super bullish on it, and tell you what I honestly feel and what I honestly think, even if people are going to get mad, than tell you that I love it and it's amazing and not buy it. So this video is for entertainment purposes only. Always do your own research and due diligence. Don't just take your, my word for it. I'm not a licensed stockbroker. Come join us at the Patreon if you, want to be part of an amazing family. Let me know down in the comments what you think. If you have your own ride stock price prediction, or if you have a, an outlook on Lordstown Motors, I would love to talk with you about it. Like the video if you get value out of it, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.